Hello, I'm Misha, Adobe creator and producer of The Deep Dive. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 12, and today we will be doing a deep dive into R.E.P.O. Okay, it looks like Grace and David have their snacks ready and are settled in behind the microphones. So, let's get going.
Hey you, and welcome to The Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
So you've probably seen the name R.E.P.O. popping up lately.
Oh, yeah. It's been everywhere. Wild clips online, definitely some buzz.
Exactly. So if you've seen it trending and wondered what it's all about, well, you're in the right place.
We've kind of dug into it, haven't we? Looked at explainers, wikis.
Yeah, even some early forum threads where people seemed genuinely confused if it was even like a real game at first.
Right. It was a bit of a mystery initially.
So our mission today basically is to cut through all that noise. We want to pull out the most important, the most interesting stuff about R.E.P.O.
Yeah, get you up to speed fast on why this thing blew up.
It's had quite a journey, hasn't it? From like under the radar, early access to, well, dominating stream.
Totally. So for anyone still scratching their heads, what is R.E.P.O. at its core?
Okay, so R.E.P.O., and the name stands for Retrieve, Extract, and Profit Operation, which kind of gives the game away.
Yeah, pretty much tells you the loop.
It's fundamentally a co-op, multiplayer horror game. Think you, maybe up to 5 friends.
Right, 6 total.
Heading into these really seriously spooky places.
The goal being?
Grab valuable stuff, get out alive, and try not to get eaten by whatever's lurking there.
Standard horror setup, but there's a twist, isn't there? The physics.
Yes. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. It's got this major physics-based system for carrying items. It's not just, click and it's in your inventory.
No, not at all. And that physics system, it's such a smart move.
How so?
Well, it's not just about the scares, right? It throws in this layer of physical comedy that's totally unpredictable.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Like imagine trying to carefully carry some, fragile vase, but the game's physics just decides, nope. It creates these moments where you're like terrified of the monster behind you, but also desperately trying not to just hit this priceless thing across the room.
It's a tension release almost.
Exactly, that slapstick element. It makes the horror maybe a bit less oppressive and maybe pulls in people who aren't usually into straight up horror.
Totally. I read this description, it was brilliant, about trying to wrestle a massive dinosaur fossil through a tiny doorway with your friend.
Oh, man.
Or like fumbling with some huge tool while you can hear something breathing down your neck.
You can just picture it. Panic and laughter all mixed up.
And to make it even more intense, there's the proximity voice chat.
Ah, yes, the prox chat.
You only hear your teammates if they're actually physically near you in the game.
Which is honestly kind of genius game design for horror.
You think?
Yeah.
Why specifically?
Well, think about what makes horror really work. Often it's that feeling of being vulnerable, right? Isolated.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't just have someone chatting in your ear from across the map like a safety net. It breaks the immersion.
Sure.
Here, you have to stick together. You have to communicate, like face-to-face in the game.
Or risk getting separated and picked off.
Exactly. And those moments when you can't hear your friends, suddenly it's way more unsettling.
It taps into that primal, alone in the dark fear.
Totally.
So, okay, that's the core idea. What other gameplay features are really hooking people?
Well, we got to circle back to that physics grabbing tool. It's absolutely central.
Right.
And the interesting part is you genuinely need to be careful.
Trade in your boring job for a brilliant career using Adobe Creative Cloud. Start learning now with the free trial link in the description.
Like, if you damage the items, it directly hits your mission rewards, your score, your payout.
So it's not just cosmetic damage. It actually matters.
Exactly. It's not a gimmick. It fundamentally changes how you approach grabbing stuff. And like we said, leads to that wonderful chaos.
That constant risk of messing up yourself, not just being caught by monsters.
Yeah, adds another layer of pressure, keeps it engaging.
And the proximity chat we mentioned is more than just jump scare fuel, right? It's key for teamwork.
Oh, absolutely. It's the backbone of coordinating anything.
How so?
You're constantly having to think, okay, where is everyone? Plan meetup points, actually describe what you're seeing or hearing right there.
It forces that real-time, immediate communication.
Yeah, it adds a layer of realism that just heightens everything, the tension, the need to cooperate properly.
Trying to whisper a warning without the monster hearing you.
Exactly, that kind of intensity.
Okay, and then there's the level design. I heard the maps are procedurally generated. What does that mean for gameplay?
Well, procedural generation is basically the game creating the map layouts on the fly.
So it's different every time.
Pretty much. You're not just learning the same haunted house layout again and again.
Right.
The randomized layouts, where the loot spawns, even where the enemies show up.
Yeah.
It means every mission feels, well, unpredictable.
Keeps you on your toes. No memorizing enemy patrols.
Exactly that. Massive replayability factor.
And then, assuming you actually get some loot without breaking it or getting grabbed,
Yeah.
it's not over yet. There's an extraction phase.
Oh, yeah, the extraction. That's where the pressure really cranks up.
Like a mad dash to the exit.
Sort of. You and your team got to get to a specific extraction point, and yeah, the game tends to throw more obstacles, more monsters at you then.
Classic.
It's that final hurdle. All your work is on the line, and the threat of losing it right at the end, it's a real adrenaline spike.
High stakes. Risk reward amplified by sheer terror.
You got it.
Now, for people thinking of jumping in, it sounds like a decent team size is possible.
Yeah, up to 6 players, which is pretty good. But important note, currently it's private lobbies only.
Ah, okay. So no random matchmaking for now.
Correct. You need to bring your own crew of brave or maybe foolish friends. Something to bear in mind.
Gotcha. Now, the game's got horror in the description, so things trying to stop you. What are we dealing with? Monsters, right?
Definitely monsters. The sources confirm there's a variety of creatures.
Different types.
Yeah, they emphasize that. Each one apparently has unique behaviors, different abilities.
So you can't just learn one trick to avoid them all.
Exactly. Keeps the scares fresh, stops you getting too comfortable. Some might be stalkers, building dread. Others might be more about the, classic jump scares. It seems like a mix of psychological stuff and immediate threats.
Okay, good mix. So we understand the game now, but who actually made this thing? The origin story is always interesting.
It really is, and this one's quite cool. R.E.P.O comes from Semi-Work.
Semi-work?
Yeah, a small indie studio. They're based in Uppsala, Sweden.
Okay, indie devs. Have they done anything else?
They have, actually. They made an action roguelite called Voidigo. It was pretty well received, apparently.
Boy to go. But R.E.P.O's origin, you said there was a twist.
Yeah, this is the surprising part. It didn't start as this, chaotic co-op game at all.
No. What was it then?
It actually began life as a single-player project.
Seriously?
Yeah. The first idea was apparently about cleaning a mansion while being chased by, get this, a headless entity.
Wow. Okay, that's different. Very different. More traditional spooky house vibe.
Totally. So a pretty big shift to what we have now.
So how did it evolve? From solo cleaner, chased by a headless guy, to multiplayer physics chaos?
Well, the devs then changed direction, leaned hard into multiplayer, and brought in that physics gameplay that's become its signature.
Interesting. Because people do compare it to other games, right? Like Legal Company. Or even Goat Simulator for the physics.
They do, yeah. The sources mention those comparisons, but apparently the developers have pointed out their original concept was quite different and actually might have predated some of those other games.
Huh. So maybe not directly inspired by them, even if there are similarities now.
Seems that way.
Trade in your boring job for a brilliant career using Adobe Creative Cloud. Start learning now with the free trial link in the description.
And it sounds like they've been really talking to the players during early access.
Yeah, community feedback.
Definitely. The info highlights they're actively communicating, using feedback to tweak things.
Good sign for an early access game.
For sure. And they've already got plans for more content down the line.
Like what?
Things like more player customization options, new levels, probably even spookier ones, more gear, and of course,
More monster.
more monsters. Gotta keep things scary.
Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room. Why did this game just explode? What fueled the viral fire?
It looks like a real potent mix of things. First off, the social gameplay is just huge.
Designed for friends.
Exactly. And those shared moments, the near misses, accidentally smashing the loot, the frantic yelling during escapes, that stuff is just inherently shareable, right? People love talking about those intense, funny moments they had with their friends.
Yeah, bonding over shared terror or shared stupidity.
Precisely. It taps into that. When fear is communal, weirdly, it becomes fun, a bonding thing.
And the timing was key too, wasn't it? It wasn't an instant smash hit.
No, the sources say it had a kind of quiet launch initially, then the streamers found it.
Ah, the streamer effect.
Totally. Once people started playing it live on Twitch, YouTube, that's when the snowball started rolling.
Clips started appearing everywhere.
Exactly. Hilarious fails, crazy physics moments, jump scares, plastered all over TikTok, YouTube Shorts, you name it.
And that visibility just pulls in more and more players.
Who then make their own clips, share their experiences. It just fuels itself. Organic growth, but like turbocharged by social media.
It really taps into that desire for co-op games, where you can just have intense, sometimes ridiculous fun with friends.
Absolutely. It reminds me of, well, other chaotic co-op games where the fun comes from things going wrong.
Like accidentally launching the mission objective into space with wonky physics.
Exactly. That kind of vibe. R.E.P.O seems built for those moments.
That mix of genuine scares and then utter physics absurdity.
Yeah, that contrast is key. The slapstick breaks the tension, like we said, stops it being too much for some people.
Makes it more approachable, maybe, and definitely makes for memorable, shareable stories.
Couldn't agree more. Those unexpected physics fails, gold for content creators, and just word of mouth.
So if someone listening's and thinking, okay, I want to check this out, what's the situation? Early access platforms?
Right now, R.E.P.O is only on Steam for Windows PCs.
PC only, got it.
And yeah, crucial point, it is still in early access.
Meaning it's still being worked on, might have bugs, features coming later.
Exactly. It's playable, obviously, and tons of people are playing it, but it's not the final finished version yet. Devs are still adding stuff, polishing things.
And the price.
Currently, it's $9.99 US, which is pretty reasonable. But the sources do mention the price is likely to go up when it leaves early access for the whole 1.0 release.
Okay, good to know. Get in early if you're interested. Any idea how long it'll be in early access?
The studio, Semi-Work, they've estimated somewhere around 6 to 12 months.
Okay, so maybe sometime in the next year or so for the full release, potentially.
That seems to be the rough timeline, yeah.
Now, inevitably, with popular PC games, people start asking about consoles. Any word on Switch, PS5, Xbox?
On this, the sources we looked at are pretty clear.
Yeah.
As of right now, nothing official.
No announcements.
No official word about console releases, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S. One article even specifically warned that you might see some, like, fake or misleading listings pop up on other stores.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they stress the only legit way to get R.E.P.O currently is through Steam on PC.
Okay, crystal clear then. PC only for the foreseeable future. Don't get fooled by dodgy listings.
Exactly.
So, considering all this hype, all the players,
Yeah.
what's the verdict? How's the reception been overall?
Oh, it's been overwhelmingly positive. Really, really good.
Like good reviews?
Yeah, the numbers are kind of nuts. Over 30,000 reviews on Steam last we checked.
Wow.
And more than 95% of those are positive.
95% positive on 30K plus reviews. That's huge.
It's incredibly strong. Shows how much it's resonating with the players who've bought it.
And it's not just, yeah, it's okay kind of praise, is it? I saw mentions comparing it to big horror names.
No, people seem to genuinely love the mix.
Yeah.
That unique blend of the wacky physics with, like, actual atmospheric horror.
Combination again.
Yeah, and the fact it's getting mentioned alongside established horror franchises, that's a massive win for an indie game, especially one still in early access.
Huge validation. And the player counts reflected that hype too, right?
Oh, absolutely. At its peak, shortly after it really blew up, it hit over 230,000 people playing at the same time on Steam.
230,000.
Concurrently.
Yep, concurrent players. And it shot right to the top of the best-selling charts on Steam too.
Incredible for a small Swedish indie team.
Absolutely phenomenal success story.
It's funny, almost ironic, thinking back to that initial confusion we found. Some early posts acting like it was this obscure, hard-to-find thing.
Right. And now look at it. It just shows how fast things can change in gaming.
That unpredictable nature of virality. The right game, the right streamers, the right moment.
Exactly. That perfect storm. Engaging gameplay, shareable moments, community buzz, streamer amplification. Boom.
So let's try and wrap this up. If we had to boil it down, what are the key takeaways from this deep dive into R.E.P.O?
I think the core thing is R.E.P.O's success comes from this really unique recipe, right? It's co-op horror mixed with physics comedy. And that recipe got supercharged by how fast it spread online through streamers, social media, word of mouth. It's a game that thrives on those shared moments.
Totally. The tension of the scares is constantly being punctured by the absolute chaos of trying to work together while fighting the game's own physics.
So the essential experience is grab friends, expect scares, and absolutely prepare for things to go hilariously wrong.
That's pretty much R.E.P.O in a nutshell, yeah.
Okay.
And, that leaves us with a kind of interesting thought to chew on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thinking about how R.E.P.O just shot up out of nowhere, mixing familiar horror stuff with this novel physics twist, what does that actually tell us about, viral gaming right now?
What kinds of experiences are really grabbing people?
Yeah. Is that specific blend, the humor and the horror, is that a winning formula we'll see more of?
Could be.
And what other weird, maybe unlikely game mechanics could suddenly spark the next big viral hit? What's the next wonky physics?
That's a great question. What makes something suddenly connect and spread like wildfire?
Exactly. Something to think about, maybe, based on R.E.P.O's crazy ride, as we watch where online gaming trends go next.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.